And we are back. Pokemon Diamond, Hardcore Nuzlocke, the run continues. We have made it to the Valor Cavern here to take on Saturn, Team Galactic Saturn. He's just going to be a little boss here, and he's only going to have 3 Pokemon. The Kadabra comes down. We send out Odysseus the Lucario, and this is actually a pretty decent matchup since Lucario knows Dark Pulse, so we just got to watch out for any critical hits or anything crazy that the Kadabra does, but it goes for embargo, so no problem there, and we one-shot it with the Dark Pulse. Odysseus doing a fantastic job in this run so far. The Toxicroak comes down. We can't really one-shot it with the moveset that we have. I mean, we could try to roll a Flash Cannon, but it's better just to get out of here and play it safe, just in case Toxicroak lands a stab fighting type move, because then it's super effective against Lucario, but no problem. He goes for the feint attack, and then we fly into the sky with Suzaku and one shot the Toxicroak, and she is no more. So that just leaves the final Pokemon here, and it is not the Bronzong, it is the Bronzer, just the tiny little coin flip guy, and it's not going to give us many issues. We're just deciding what should we throw out to meet Bronzer head on, and we're going to go with Arthur the Floatzel, who's been doing really good in this run as well. And Arthur drops back with a Surf, and it is enough to one-shot the Bronzer with some style points with a fadeaway critical hit. Commander Saturn goes down, and we are on to the next part of the run. Let's do it. All right, with Saturn out of the way, it is time to take on Mars once again. We defeated her and her Fat Kitty earlier on in the run, and now we are revisiting that fight once again. She sends out her Golbat. We meet her where she is with the Lucario, and we're going to fade with a Flash Cannon. It's not enough to kill the Golbat, no problem there. We take an Air Cutter, and we're just going to lean into another Flash Cannon, and there goes the bat. So that leaves 2 Pokemon, another Bronzer, Bronzong getting 0 love, unfortunately, but we're going to go with the Stab Aura Sphere. And again, Lucario's special attack is way higher than the physical in this particular run, so we are leaning into these special attacks, and it's working out pretty decently. We can't get Calm Mind for sweep strats because Calm Mind is only accessible after the Elite Force. That's unfortunate, but I think we'll do just fine. However, Perugly lands a Hypnosis, and we are asleep 2 turns in a row, and it is just chipping at us, chipping away with Feint Attack, and that is 3 or 4 turns asleep, and Lucario is just completely sleeping on the job, but Odysseus finally wakes up and drops back with an Aura Sphere. It is stab super effective, and the cat falls at long last. And there goes Mars. So that is 2 Team Galactic commanders down, and now we are on to the next challenge. Our first encounter for Route 216 is going to be the Sneasel here, located on the snowy mountainside. Chuck the Ultra Ball, secure it, and add it to the PC. Oh, this is such a nice day. Hey, Mom, get me some Hot Pockets or, I don't know, like Bagel Bites. Something I can snack on, maybe some Chips Ahoy cookies. I'm just having a really good day, and I wouldn't mind a little, um, Mom, maybe pick up some ice cream. All right, it is time for the 7th gym battle against Candace and her Ice-type Pokemon. Really, the biggest issue is going to be the Medicham, the fighting psychic type that she has to counter any Pokemon that you throw out against her team. And with that Ice Punch / Drain Punch or Force Palm combination, it really is just awesome coverage. And Medicham's just such a fantastic Pokemon, as well as it has Bulk Up. So any swapping around you do, you could really get punished for that. But Odysseus, our Lucario here, is going to be looking for a really clean sweep on the other 3 Pokemon, and then we're really just going to have to band together and try to take out that Medicham. And I think Jeremiah, our little squirrel here, our little Pachirisu, might be able to clutch. The stats are not high. It's very fast, which I do like, but Luxray is primarily physical, so we're not going to be able to edge out the Medicham in that regard. Crobat's bulky enough to where I think I could eat 1 Ice Punch, but if it bulks up, it can probably get 1 shot. We're definitely in crit range, and if it bulks up, then it's going to have higher defenses as well. So we're really going for the tag team, and Empoleon, the steel typing, actually backfiring in that regard since it's weak to fighting. So just a lot of tough things. That loss of the Floatzel is pretty tough, since Floatzel was so strong and fast and only weak to electric and grass with the water typing. So we're just going to have to rebound from that. was definitely considering Floatzel for the Elite Four, but given how weak it was on the special defense as well as physical defense, it's not the worst thing. But again, a lot of these guys are still, might be on the Elite Four team. So we just got to keep that in mind. And if we lose any more, then, we're just going to have to meet that where it is. But without further ado, let's dive in and fight Candace and see how smoothly or how poorly this fight goes. Again, just watch out for that Medicham, and then don't take the rest of her team for granted. But Lucario is just in a prime position to really one-shot the rest of her team. So Odysseus comes down. Lucario is so strong, so fast, and again, our special attack is very high this run, so we're just going to lean into that. The hailstorm gonna be kind of an issue there as well. We got to keep that in mind. But Aura Sphere is going to do 135 power after stab and is going to be super effective. On top of that, we have the Fist Plate, which is going to buff fighting type moves by 10 or 20%. So that just means any shot here, any Aura Sphere that hits a Pokemon for super effective is probably just going to get one shot, no questions asked. So really good move. We have close combat as well, but given the physical attack compared to the special on the Lucario, that probably won't really come into play, as well as the defense drop that it costs you as well. So, okay, we go straight into the Medicham, and that's not great. Yeah, because if it uses Stab Force Palm, we are definitely dead to critical. And I don't think we can one-shot. So I am not willing to lose the Lucario. But that might mean Jeremiah is going to take the fall. Now, I do have that Pichu in the PC. So if we lose Pachirisu, that means we could go with the Raichu. But the Ice Punch comes down in it. Oh my gosh. If I could have foreseen an Ice Punch, then Lucario would have been just fine. But I was definitely assuming a Bulk Up or a Force Palm. So Pachirisu just eating an Ice Punch out of nowhere, essentially. And I honestly don't care. I've chosen this path, and this might get my little squirrel friend killed here, but I'm unwilling to lose the Lucario as well as the rest of the team. So we're going to lean on the Discharge, which does no damage, and the Medicham gets a monster bulk up here. And I have blundered to the heavens. I really thought Stab Discharge was going to do a lot more than that. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we need to pay attention to the discharge damage. That did that much with the Ice Chip. So can we discharge, and then do you think the Ice Chip would kill? Because we are faster. That does mean I'm sacrificing Pachirisu's life. Essentially. I'm going all in. Okay. What if it gets greedy for another bulk up? Just get it in hail range, please. Just get it right there on the edge. Oh, it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough, and we just lost Pachirisu. Oh my god. Oh, that's brutal. It's not gonna be enough, is it? If it is, Jeremiah goes down as a hero. An absolute hero, and that's not enough. That is so rough. So bulk up, good to go. It's going to get the heal. Bulk up is good to go. It's going to get the heal. I could go back to the Lucario and potentially 2 Dark Pulses. 2 Dark Pulses could be enough. I think that's our best play because it's already bulk up. We could go for Empoleon as well to get 1 Surf off, but again, if we don't kill it, we are in trouble. So I think my best play here is 2 Dark Pulse. If this does not get Medicham to half, we've lost Lucario, or we lose someone else in the process. I did not plan well enough for this gym, and the Ice Chip, this is going to be bad, dude. So we're talking 2 Dark Pulse on top of Ice Chip. This is literally the same exact position we just had the Pachirisu in. Okay, but it does chip to the orange, meaning... But if it uses Force Palm, we lose Odysseus, right? Wait a second. Fighting does not resist steel. I always think fighting resists steel, and we have a stab flash cannon, which bumps it to 120. In my Pokemon X run, I threw out Throw into the Scizor, who used a Steel type move onto the Fighting type, and it hit for neutral, and I was very surprised. We need to lean in onto that, and this should kill, but it goes for Detect. It absolutely goes for Detect, and that just means we're both going to get chipped by the Hailstorm. But I think we're good. I think we've cracked the case here wide open with the typing. And we're just going to have to avenge the Pachirisu. Although Medicham is in range now for a Dark Pulse. So we don't even have to really risk this. And honestly, given that, since we know Dark Pulse is going to kill from that range, I'm just going to do that just in case. It goes for a triple Detect, is trying to cheese the Hailstorm, and we are just fine. We are just fine, and we live to fight another day. I hate to say how expendable Pachirisu was, but the more I used it, and the more, like, you really can't one-shot many things, and then it's not tanky enough to, get into that tank battle to where it can eat two things. So it's just a really tough position to be in, but now we can go for the Stab Aura Sphere with the Fist Plate for bonus, and this should one-shot the Abomasnow. This should absolutely one-shot the Abomasnow, but let's see if it holds on. It is a beefy, beefy Pokemon. Can she hold on? Oh, and it does not. It was a fadeaway critical, an absolute fadeaway critical, making up for what the Machoke did to us earlier, losing the Floatzel to a revenge crit, which is really brutal. But all of that bringing us to this moment in the Nuzlocke. The Sneasel comes down, and unless it has like a priority crit with the Ice Chip, I think we'll be just fine. And the Feint Attack comes down. That's 4 times. Not very effective if I'm not mistaken. That should do no damage. No damage at all. We are just fine. And Odysseus, the Lucario, drops back, shoots a Sphere of Aura, and cuts right through Sneasel's defenses. And I do not believe she has enough to withstand that. Absolutely not. And just like that, we defeat Candace. 7 gym badges down. We lost 2 Pokemon in this video. Unfortunately, we lose the Floatzel. We lose the Pachirisu. An unfortunate critical hit, one shot onto the Floatzel, and then just a very, very bad misplay from me with the Pachirisu. If I would have just stayed out with the Lucario and used Flash Cannon on the Fighting Psychic type, I would have been just fine, assuming no critical hit Force Palm, but I was too afraid, and it cost us our little squirrel. So really unfortunate, but I am glad I was able to use the Pachirisu in the end, since that was the first time I was able to use him. So dear Jeremiah, forgive me for what I have done, but you're going to rest easy in the PC with Floatzel, and it was a pleasure. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.